We've got to talk about audio. It is the bane of every motovlogger's existence since the beginning of, well, motovlogging. Trying to capture audio inside of a helmet where the wind's blowing past your head all the time is not an easy thing. We're going to talk about the most common type of microphone people are going to be using, which is the lavalier. We're going to break down a little bit of the science of the thing without going super in-depth, just enough to help you understand kind of what you're fighting with your audio and, give you a direction to go with that. And one of the first things that I want to tackle is how you're recording your audio. A large portion of us are using GoPros, which means that you're either using a media mod, which is the better option, or you're using this little guy, which has a terrible reputation for losing audio, peaking audio, random pops and crackles at highway speeds. It is an easy solution to get an external mic hooked up to your GoPro to record audio. You don't have to sync with it. It does have its upsides, but the quality is hot garbage most of the time, we'll just say that. Your main alternative when it comes to this is what I choose to use, which is an external audio recorder. It's what I use in the shop for these talking head videos. It's what I use on the bike because you have adjustability. You can tune out your wind noise, you can tune down your peaking, stuff like that, and it's really going to help you get your audio quality on point. And with that stuff out of the way, let's head over to the bench, break it down in a little more detail, and give you guys a little more information to go off of. Now to start off, let's break down your basic anatomy of a lavalier microphone. You have your connector, which is going to come in a couple of different types. You'll have the TRS and the TRRS. That counts for tip, ring, and sleeve, or tip, ring, and sleeve. Most of your audio recorders are going to use a tip, ring, sleeve configuration. If your microphone, Purple Panda for example, comes with tip, ring, sleeve, you'll have to have an adapter to bring that to a TRS or tip, ring, sleeve. Of course, everyone understands you've got a cord. And then the important part, the capsule. This is where all the magic happens. The capsule is what contains all the little pixies that make sound happen. And there's other videos that go into a lot more detail of how that actually works. Simple explanation, they turn the air flowing over the capsule into sound. And this is why wind is our enemy for solid audio. If you've ever heard the term hot mic, they might be talking about the mic's sensitivity. And the term hot is basically when you hear pops, cracks, distortion, or otherwise it's peaking and breaking the threshold of what the mic can handle in its clean range. For simplicity, we're going to break down 3 microphones here into an okay, a better, and a best. We're going to look at the Purple Panda. Decent little ride today before the weather goes. The Tascam TM10L, which is what I'm recording on right now. See if we can find a nice place to take some pictures. And the Sennheiser MKE2EW Gold. In the side of the thing where the nut goes is just the wrong size, which is what's inside of my helmet and what I use for recording. The Purple Panda is your most common starter lav mic. It's around 30 bucks. The common issues are that you have to have that TRRS to TRS adapter, and you tend to get cracking and peaking from the audio due to its sensitivity and thresholds. The next up is going to be the Tascam TM10L. It's included with the DR10L external audio recorder, or you can order it separately for about $90. And lastly, you'll have the Sennheiser. This is strictly for the cleanest, most pro-level audio, and you're going to pay for it. It's well over 300 bucks, just to warn you. So let's break down some simple specs. We're not going to go down the whole list, but we're going to look at specifications that are going to more directly influence your audio and the clarity of it. Let's start with sensitivity and noise levels. And on the Purple Panda, they come in at a -40 plus or minus 3 decibel, but they don't give you a voltage or a millivoltage, and you'll kind of find out why that's important here in a minute. Their noise level, however, they do list at an over 55 decibel. That's bad, by the way, but we'll get into that. On the Tascam, they come in at -2 decibel, or 1 volt at 0 decibels with a noise level of 36 decibels. The Sennheiser comes in at 5 millivolts at 0 decibels with a noise level of 26 decibels. Also, we're going to be looking at max SPL. SPL is sound pressure level. It more defines what your microphone can handle in terms of noise before it starts cracking, peaking, and makes just really unusable audio. The Purple Panda, for everything I've managed to look up, is unlisted. I cannot find an SPL rating on this microphone. For the Tascam TM10L, it is rated at 115 decibels at 1 kilohertz. 115 decibels is pretty loud. That's going to be your average really loud conversation, highway noise, that kind of stuff, and it's really going to help with the wind noise on the helmet, just having that kind of an SPL limit on there. Stepping up to the Sennheiser, this guy jumps up to 142 decibels at 1 kilohertz, which that gets you into the territory of like train horns and stuff like that. The higher this number is, the more clear your audio is going to be for the volume that it is at. Very important when it comes to wind noise, but let's break this down into more common terms if I'm speaking alienese to you. So sensitivity and noise, we looked at those on each microphone. Sensitivity is the mic's ability to convert sound into electricity. This isn't necessarily a bad number to look at on its own, but compared to the noise level, which is your cleanliness of sound, lower is better. To give you an idea of scale, studio recordings generally use a mic with less than 24 decibels. The higher the noise, the worse your overall sound quality is going to be. With Purple Panda coming in at greater than 55 decibels, that is really bad on the noise level. And something else you're going to notice a lot when you start looking at quality microphones for recording, especially with use on an external recorder, is on their connection, not only are they going to be TRS, but you're also going to have a thread-on connection. That connection is going to thread on to your audio recorder and give you a way more secure fit than just relying on that microphone to snap in and hold into place. That is where this thing from GoPro tends to have a lot of problems. And after looking up the numbers on a Purple Panda and seeing how much noise they have and how sensitive they are, Purple Panda falls into the definite okay category. If you can't use the on-camera microphone to get the audio quality you're after, this is a slightly better option, but it's going to be very, very sensitive on microphone placement and wind protection. And now let's look at the helmet and mic placement. This is where all of those numbers are going to really matter. Your average mic will be an inch or so from your mouth, so you have your voice volume to account for first and foremost, and then add in any wind getting into your helmet, and soon your mic will peak. In other words, the SPL or sound pressure level is going to become too high for your mic to handle, and you'll end up with a whole lot of crackly, unusable, windy audio. Let's start this all off by breaking down the wind protection for your lav mic. Chances are it's going to come with a wind muff. A lot of them will actually come with a dead cat. To save yourself a lot of time, just start with all of your wind protection in place. All of it. Worst case scenario, your sound is going to be muffled, which is generally more usable than peaked and broken audio. You can always remove layers of protection to bring more clarity to your audio if needed. Most mic placements on full face helmets is going to be behind the cheek pad. Sometimes that's enough. Or above 50 or 60 miles an hour, you're going to get a lot of wind noise. The biggest tip I can give you if that's the case is to turn your mic around. Aim the end of your microphone into the padding. Omnidirectional mics are commonly okay with covering the end by design because they pick up sound in every direction, thus omnidirectional. So covering the end of your microphone against your cheek pad should not hurt your audio quality. If it does and it muffles it a little bit, relocate it slightly away from the cheek pad. And the key thing you're trying to fight here is wind getting into the end of your microphone. Because remember from the beginning of the mic section, your microphone is converting the air or wind that's moving over it into sound. So the more air and wind that you can keep off of the sensor inside of that capsule, the better your audio is going to be. One of the main upsides of using something like the Tascam or any other external audio recorder is that chances are it has some settings to help you dial in your sound. You're going to have settings like a mic gain adjustment for different microphones to help bring your levels in line. You're going to have things like an auto limiter. And sometimes you'll have a setting like a low cut filter that's going to help cut out wind buffeting noises and things like that. And yes, using an external audio recorder means that you're going to have to sync up your audio and video in post-production. I've got one really quick tip for you that might help you out with that. I have 2 cameras and an audio recorder rolling, which means that 99.9% of the time, my audio and my video is going to be out of sync. Something like this. 1, 2, 3, sync. So at the beginning of a recording, like you just saw there, I will say the word sync and either give a thumbs up, open my hand, make some motion that I know I can sync up later in post-production, and after a couple of trims and sliding things around on the timeline, you end up with your clips in sync like you see here. 1, 2, 3, sync. And we're going to call that a wrap on audio. Hopefully that helped you guys out, gave you a little more information, so at least you might understand more of what you're fighting with your helmet audio. If that did help you out, please smack that like button. If you want more weird stuff like this, me talking at you and trying to spill some information, smack that subscribe button, and definitely drop a comment down below if there's any question you've got that I might be able to help you with. Or even if you don't think I can help you with it, hit me up, we'll see what we can do. But as always guys, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.